So in my last video, I talked about playing Danganronpa V3, and now I can safely say that I have finished it. And I'm just gonna talk about it a bit because I definitely didn't think it would affect me this much. So the game took about 39 hours for me to finish, and then I spent an hour doing the extra game content. And I'm really surprised that I finished it, to be honest. I kind of started the game as a joke. I was like, oh, I'm gonna play Danganronpa. But then I actually really enjoyed it for some reason. Once I finished chapter 1, I was like, okay, I'll do chapter 2. And then chapter 3. And then it just kept going. I just, like, there were so many things that stuck out to me in this game. Like, the art style just really popped out. The characters, I don't dislike any of them. I just think they're all very cool and interesting. The story is interesting, but I'll get to that later on. I won't have any spoilers in this video until I talk about spoilers, but I'll put a warning, so do not fret. So I should probably say this is my first Danganronpa game, but I have had experience with it. If you've watched some of my other videos, you would know that I've literally used music from this game in videos, but I've never actually played it. I've always heard of it, and I would watch videos of it when I was younger, but like only the deaths, and I don't know why. Was it good for me? I don't know. I was in a weird position when playing this game. I was trying to get back into gaming because I think I was getting burnt out on it. I wasn't able to really play games for longer than 30 minutes to an hour, and I was thinking when I started playing Danganronpa V3 and Persona 4, I was thinking this is going to be miserable. I know these are long games. How am I going to get through them? And I somehow did get through Danganronpa V3, and I actually feel proud of that for some reason. I feel like I've actually gotten back into gaming again, that's really good because I love gaming. So I guess I gotta thank the game for that. And also, speaking of Persona 4, I haven't touched that game since I've played V3. And that game was just addicting for me. I don't know why. I finished the game in like 4 or 5 days. So maybe I rushed it, you could say. But I mean, I still enjoyed myself. Anyway, let's talk about the actual game. As I said, the characters I just love. They're all just so cool and unique. There's obviously characters I wish got more screen time. I just think the design of them was like really good, because in this one specifically, the outfits were actually themed around their ultimates, which I thought was cool. In Danganronpa 1 and 2, they were just wearing like normal school uniforms. So I thought this was like a cool way to do it. There's not much I can really say without spoiling the game, actually. So I'm gonna put a spoiler warning here for probably the rest of the video, because I really can't talk about it. So 3, 2, 1. People die in this game. What the hell? The murders were pretty brutal, but even more brutal was the executions. The punishments were they were something else. Like the first one especially that just affected me really differently, just because it happened to a character I liked, and it happened to the protagonist. And that just really surprised me. I really didn't think that the first character to die and to murder someone would be you, like the player. So that was just so interesting and cool to me. And then after chapter 1, you play as Shuichi, which I didn't really expect. And I do like him, but I probably would have rather played as Kaede, because I don't know, she was cool. Let's talk about the trials, actually. I found the trials to be quite fun, but they would get like quite boring. Near the end, you're like, oh, can we just wrap this up? Like, we kind of know who it is. And I think some of the mini games, like Psych Taxi, I thought it was fun at first, but then it just got really boring to me. Like, you are just driving, hitting letters. It was just like 3 minutes, and it was so boring to me. I thought the class trials, they felt so cool though, especially when you got to the scrum debate part and everyone is being elevated up to like the top floor and it's 2 teams facing each other with the crazy music in the background. I thought it was so cool. Definitely like the star of the class trials, even though it was like the shortest minigame, literally. I also want to talk about the music because I love the music in this game. Oh my god. There's so many tracks that just, they hit different. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but I did use the song, and it's Beautiful Lie. And that song just, it hits different after chapter 1. It always reminds me of Kaede, and it's just kind of sad hearing it again, but I still love it. Then you also have New Classmates of the Dead, which goes so crazy when you hear those piano notes. You also have New World Order V3, which is like a remixed version of New World Order in the first game. And I love it. Same with Scrum Debate and Closing Argument, which I want to talk about that actually. I think that was my favorite minigame. It's essentially you forming a comic on how the death happened, but it's weird because the music is relaxing, it's kind of chill, but also like you are piecing together how this murder occurred, and you kind of have time to reflect on what you've been through for the past 2 hours, and also you are about to end this person's life. Like, you are about to vote this person, you're explaining why, and then you aren't gonna see that person because they're about to get executed. So maybe I'm just thinking too deep into this, but anyway, I want to talk about the ending because the ending is something. Even though I put a spoiler warning, I'm not gonna say who the final boss, the final enemy is, the mastermind, but it was weird. There was a class trial at the end, but it was like 4 hours long. It was like double the length of any other class trial, but it had the least amount of gameplay, and it got really boring at the end at some parts. It was kind of crazy seeing who the mastermind was, even though I kind of figured it out, but seeing all, I'm just gonna put another spoiler warning, see all the characters from 1 and 2 appear, I just thought that was like really cool, and the fact that all the voice actors came back for reprising their role in this game, I just thought that was so nice. And the ending plot twist of basically everything being a lie that you've been told throughout this game, it kind of came out of nowhere, but I mean, it was kind of cool. I'm still confused about it. Like, is this in a different universe than the first 2 games? And does this mean that in this universe the first 2 games didn't actually happen, they were just fictional, but in another universe they did happen? So I still have questions. I still don't fully understand the ending, but I'm glad it did have a good ending, even though people think, you know, well, we don't know if it was a good ending, we didn't see them, like, to see what was outside the school, but like, to me it felt like a good ending. Something I want to show actually is I did predictions for this game. I wrote down predictions of who would kill and who would be killed, and I'm just gonna put a spoiler warning here, another one, because my guesses were scarily accurate. I didn't guess who killed who, but like, I got pretty close. This is gonna be mirrored, so I have to remember to like mirror it. But you can see all the notes I put down for every character, and like, this is like scary how accurate I got. The main one I got wrong was Gonta being killed. And you may be like, oh, some of your reasonings are off. Like Karumi, I just wrote, no reason to kill, so I think she will. Which I think that's a fair reasoning. It's a guess, but I think it's a reasoning. But I'm sorry. That was... How was I meant to guess why she would kill? The reason she killed is because she was the Prime Minister of Japan. How was I meant to know that? How was I meant to know that? So... That was probably one of my favorite parts in the game. That just came out of nowhere. That was so funny. Anyway, I did buy the first 2 games, so I'm gonna play through them. I'm actually halfway through the first game, and I'm excited, but I don't know if I'll like them as much as V3 just because that's the one I started with. But yeah, this game just, I don't know, I just really liked it for some reason. As I said, I didn't think I would, and I didn't think I'd be able to get through this game, but something about it just hooked me, and I kept playing. And then when I finished it, I felt like satisfied. Is it a game I would recommend? I'm not sure. It's kind of for a more niche audience. It's a visual novel with minigame style gameplay and open world segments, which boil down to just walking. Yeah, it's just walking. The story is a bit iffy on some parts, but yeah, I still love this game. I don't know why. It's definitely gonna be in my top 5 for this year, which is kind of shocking to say. Probably to some people, they're like, oh, you enjoy this game? What are you, like an Android? Maybe I am, but I don't know. It was just fun, and yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to make a video talking about this game, and who knows, maybe I'll make a video talking about 1 and 2 when I finish those. So yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye. Who are you? I'm you, 2 weeks from now. What are you doing here? I'm here to tell you to finish this game. But I did. Come on, I don't 100% every game. I have standards. You have 1 week till your Game Pass ends. Get going. Don't tell me I have to add lore in these videos now.